Hey, eighth graders. Okay, right now we're gonna do 7-2. It's on 393. Okay, so some of this is pretty easy and you've seen little bits of it before. We're gonna find measures of interior and exterior angles in a triangle by using relationships. Okay, so a line segment is part of a line containing two endpoints. A triangle is formed by three line segments that intersect at their endpoints. A point where the segments intersect is a vertex. That's where they come together, the corners. The three angles that lie inside a triangle formed by the segments and vertices are called interior angles. That's a lot of words for something really simple. There's, to make a triangle, how many sides? You learn this at like age 3. There's 3 sides and 3 points. The interior parts form angles, okay? These parts form line segments, okay? The part that you might not know, though, in triangle, XYZ, that's just what they named it, XYZ, it's written with this symbol, triangle, XYZ. It has sides and angles that can be named using its vertices, X, Y, and Z. The angle located at vertex Y, right there, can be named with symbols such as this is angle Y, the angle of XYZ, or the angle of ZYX. So this is the part you might not know. Okay. When you're naming a triangle, the one in the middle, if you're trying to talk about the measure of this part inside here, you put whatever one you want to have the measure of inside the 3 for a triangle. So if you had triangle, okay, A, B, C, and you wanted to talk about the measure of, let's do C because that's not normal. You would go the angle of C, okay, or you could be fancy and be like ACB, or the angle of BCA. What's the same? They all have C in the middle here, and that's the one we're trying to find. That's just what this is saying. The sides of the triangle can be named using segment notation. For example, a line over XY is read as segment XY. So name the missing sides, vertices, and angles. So this says it's side XY because you can see it's bold or green, it's standing out. This one would be what? Y and Z. So you'd put Y and Z, and then you have to put a line over it, not with points, just a line over it. You could also put ZY. Whatever one you put first, that's the one that you would say they're starting at. So you would go, okay, YZ, or you could say ZY, it doesn't matter. Over here, it's X and Z, segment XZ. Or you could say, oops, I did it. I'll change it around. You could say segment ZX. Doesn't matter. Here you could also say segment YX. You just read it as that. But the triangle part, if there's a triangle in front of it, you just mean the triangle as a whole. So if I was talking about this triangle over here, I'd make a little triangle symbol and I'd go A, B, C. You could also say triangle C, B, A. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. It just means that triangle. It just tells you which one to start with and which one is your middle point that you want to be your middle point if you're going to be talking about angles, okay? The vertex, those are the corners, okay? Vertex X, what would this one be? Y, and this one would be Z, all right? Now this is where that angle comes in. So a line is a segment, vertex is just the point, and the angle, you put a little, it looks like an angle on a protractor, not a less than sign, because that's more like this, okay? We don't want that. This is more of an angle. See how it's straight flat across, and then that one's going up at like a 45-degree angle? That's what you're gonna do. So this is angle X. What angle is this? Angle Y. So we put an angle Y. Over here, this is angle Z. So you put an angle symbol and Z. And obviously mine aren't that perfect, but you still get the point. Just make the angle perhaps a little bit smaller so it doesn't look like an L when you're handwriting them. Okay, wow, that was 5 minutes. That took way too long, I'm sorry. All right, here's something cool. If you were to draw a triangle and then cut it into 3 pieces, so each piece had a corner, and then you were to rearrange them so the vertices of the triangle pointed in together, they would all meet at one point, and that's 180 degrees. The angles form a straight line. This means the sum of their measures is 180, because remember, if you have a straight line, the measure of this whole angle here, from here to here, is 180. So it forms 180. If this triangle down here is what we're talking about, okay, 110, they put that there, plus, let's say 45. You could put anyone there first, plus 25. If you were to add this up, it's going to equal 180. That looks like a 6, my bad. All right, any triangles, when you add up their 3 interior angles, it forms 180. So on the next page, it illustrates the relationship among the angle measures of a triangle. The sum of the measures of the interior angles of any triangle will be 180. In this case, they numbered them X, Y, Z. X plus Y plus Z equals 180. No matter what triangle you do, the interior angles will measure 180. That's the key. It's always going to equal 180. 180. I can talk. If you have this flag here and they want to see what the angles are here because you're recreating it for like a social studies art project or something, how big would these angles have to be? Say you knew that this is 90 degrees because all flags have that 90 degree endpoint, and then you found out from the internet that this was 56 degrees. How could you figure out what this missing one is? You add them up, because what are they going to equal? 180. This is just what we talked about before. So 90 plus 56 will equal 146. Okay, so now what do? Well, you're going to take 180 because you know these added up. Boom, boom, boom will equal 180. So 180 minus what these two add up to. They add up to 146. You minus that, you're going to get 34. Okay, and so 34 would be what this one looks like. And yeah, that looks about right. You can do the same with the doghouse. We're going to do that in part 2.